Good afternoon, good evening to everybody. This will be the last time I ever speak with this, and I don't expect anybody to join in, so they're going to have to watch the replay. And if it ever gets mentioned again, I'll just revert them to watch this video. I don't know how long it's going to take, but it's time to talk about it since it was brought up last night in somebody's live stream, which was J Mike's. And I just heard a bunch of hearsay. Okay, let's clear the air. Okay, I'm not dumb. I don't have a short-term memory, and let's get down to business. Back in November of last year, a very creditable friend that I had made on YT told me something about Darren that may not go over well, and it's going to blow up. And I'm like, what? So this person, I will not mention. A lot of you know who it is. And she's not a close friend of mine. I can still consider her a friend, yes, but not a close friend like a bunch of others are. She had shown me one photo of 3 photos in it, which I guess you would call that a collage, I'm guessing. And in that photo, there were 3 photos. There was a face of a female I cannot identify. There was, and then the other 2 were nude. Okay, one was of just between a girl's legs with her hand down there doing her thing. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to get in detail. The other one was of a girl laying on her back. You only saw from the neck to the knee, and she was totally naked. Those 2 nude photos could be anybody because I didn't see a face attached to it. I don't know who this person is in the photos because I even told her that sent them to me, and I don't know who this face of this woman is. It looked like, you know, she was laughing per se, and I really didn't think anything of it. So come January, Darren goes over to the Philippines and meets up with J Mike. They have a party, shares that the only people that I know, I don't know who Darren knew, but the only people that I knew was J Mike, Sheer, Celeste, Blessed Life, Darren, and Rhea. Those are the only people that I knew. Anybody else, I didn't know. I didn't even know J Mike's wife per se. I've seen her a couple of times, didn't know her. Okay. I was at the live stream watching, and I just witnessed a few things, people's behavior. And I can't tell you if anything like that took place. Celeste did her own investigation by asking people at the party, and she said nobody said anything to her. And it's like, okay. But what happened at J Mike's house is separate from the so-called photos of Darren sending his junk or whatever nude photos to all these girls. Okay, we all know the truth here. The trolls said they had all this evidence and they were going to make a video of it. And this individual, I didn't know who he was, said he was going to release a video with all the evidence. Okay, I sat and watched it. It was a big nothing burger. They had the same Photoshop photo, one photo of Darren. Okay, and I sent a complaint to YouTube because the individual that made that video used my image without my permission to tie me into whatever they were trying to narrative they were trying to pose. I had nothing to do with it. They used my image without permission. If they would have came to me and I would have said, what are you going to use it for? No, they didn't even do that. So I put a copyright on them. I don't know if the video got taken down. I can care less. I wasn't there. I had nothing to do with it. I can only go by what people tell me. And people I don't know, I'm not going to believe a word they say. But here's what happened later on. J Mike's doing a live stream. Me and Sheer were there. Yes, we're friends of Darren. We were attacked by all the trolls because we're friends of Darren, and we didn't believe what the trolls were saying at face. We asked for proof. Naturally, anybody with half a brain would do that. So, since they didn't have any proof, they got to throw insult. They got to make a joke on me that I wanted to see Darren's private parts. Well, I'm okay. Well, you supposedly seen this evidence, so, but you don't want to show it. That doesn't jive, my friend. And no, I don't see it to see Darren's dick. I just want to see the evidence to collaborate their story. Let's get it broken down here in logic. Because I took all these trolls on all at once, and I kicked their ass. And I'll kick their ass again. Because you're messing with somebody that is not stupid, that does not have a short-term memory. You know, if you don't have any evidence and you throw insult, well, when you're in a court of law, that instantly tells them, and throughout history of people complaining about this stuff, you don't have any evidence, so out. It's obvious. Because if you have the evidence, you would say, here, and that collaborates your story. Then the judge or the lawyer would begin to believe what you're saying if you show some evidence here. But what they showed was a Photoshop photo. But we get the whole story later on. But we were attacked, me and Sheer and J Mike's live stream, by two individuals I know that were doing this. One, his name is KC. I've never met the guy before. I don't ever recall chatting with this guy before, but he had a bunch of nasty things to say about me. And what I know about him is the story goes, dude, KC, is you attacked a 80-year-old lady in her own home and got thrown in prison for it. Well, let's just leave it there. That's all I heard. I'm not saying it happened or it didn't happen. That's what I was told. But, you know, who's going to listen to somebody like you? I don't even know you, clown. And but the one I sort of did know, with Captain Billy Jack, I'm not going to share his backstory. I've heard a lot of rumors. When people start talking about rumors, I really don't participate. I'll just sit there and listen, but I won't participate. But what he said in his story didn't jive. He was talking about, you know, what happened at J Mike's house. He wasn't there. But what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that J Mike was lying, and I'm not saying he was telling the truth. I didn't say either or. All I am is asking questions and getting the stories. Billy Jack got into a little bit of an argument with Sheer, saying, Billy Jack said that, Sheer, Darren would not have done that to you because you're an older Panay. That right there said, wait a minute. The woman that Darren supposedly did this to was an elderly Panay. And Sheer is younger than that Panay. That doesn't jive. And if Darren is the pervert that he is, he would have went for the younger Panays, which any dude would have seen the people that were at this party. The targets would have been Blessed Life, Celestial. They're in their 30s. They're young, probably one of the younger Panays that were there that were adult women. That would have been obvious. But he goes after an elderly Panay. I don't know. The story doesn't jive here. You know, if he went with his elderly Panay and did all these things, he definitely would have done it to Sheer. But no, Sheer said he never did anything like that to her. You know, but okay, who witnessed it at the house? His wife? J Mike claims he saw it, and the woman that was so-called violated, and the perpetrator, which had been Darren. Okay, these people know about it. Did you have to bring it onto YT and make a big ruckus about it and have embarrass other people? They had nothing to do with this. I shouldn't be having this live stream talking about it. I had nothing to do with it. Yeah, Darren's a friend of mine. I consider J Mike a friend. It put me in an awkward position. The thing is, I met Darren in person. I haven't met J Mike in person, but I gotten to know J Mike. Okay. I never said he was wrong, but I never said he was right either. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of the story. And whenever people would talk about it, I'd always point out, think critically. If J Mike, his wife, and the woman are the only ones that knew about this, why bring it onto YT? Handle it there at the house. Nobody needed to know this crap. Nobody needed it. The only reason why to do this would to be throw a friend under the bus and to get watch hours and thumbs up, watch hours and thumbs up and likes and subs. Yeah, J Mike's channel exploded after all this was all brought out, but it didn't last, did it? I remember checking on a couple of J Mike's lives where there was only 4 people in there. But that's him, not me. I'm all I know is if I had a friend, an online friend at the house at a party, and something like that happened, I would have not have brought it onto the platform. I would have handled it there. Ati Grace, Billy Jack, I'm sure he's a nice guy, but he attacked me and Cher with the other troll KC, which I don't hardly know. I don't know anything about this guy KC, and a lot of other trolls that have been talking trash, but I don't know them from Adam. I hardly know Billy Jack. I've seen him and chatted with him in other live streams, but what Billy Jack said, it doesn't jive. It's like, okay, he said that Cher, he wouldn't have done that to you because you're on the little grenade. Cher got insulted. I let him go. But the thing is, Cher is younger, supposedly younger than the woman that was violated. So what he said did not make sense. If you have access to all these young Filipino ladies, why would you go after the oldest one? That's an elderly woman. Why? It does not make sense. I'm just saying what makes sense and what doesn't, unless somebody jumbled up their story or whatever. But see, I was personally attacked. I was supposed to be there, but I couldn't make it because I run my own business. And to me, business becomes before everything, because I got 4 young children that I take good care of, and I got to make sure everything's taken care of before I do anything of the sort. And if I wasn't a good businessman, I wouldn't be in business for the past 14 years, now would I? That buries that. But J Mike didn't say anything to Billy Jack during that live stream. So I'm like, okay, he's not saying anything to correct Billy Jack. That story still doesn't jive with me. But I'm just doing this in case somebody brings it up in another live stream or wherever I'm at. I'm be like, look, go watch this video and listen to what I say, and here you are. The trolls, I'm going to give you a little secret about the trolls. They don't care about you, me, or the tree. They're just in there having a good time. Some of them get off on crap like this. But there are some people that take it seriously. But let me ask you this. Who are you going to believe? Somebody that doesn't show you their face and uses a false name and even changes their voice, for God's sake? You're going to believe somebody like that? It could be anybody. Or you're going to believe somebody that doesn't hide their identity, that shows their face, and that isn't afraid of anything on this earth. There was one thing that I was afraid of, and he died back in 2000, and that was my father. And like I told Billy Jack, if you can't hit like a Mack truck, you might as well go. Because I was physically threatened, and I threatened him back. And I told him, when you threaten somebody, what do you expect in return? A dozen roses? No, you're going to get it right back at you. You smack me in the face, I'm going to grab that pile of shit and smack you right back in the face. if you're lucky to hit me in the face. But God help you if you do. Because violence back in the day when I was younger was my idea of a good time. And I detest violence because I'm smarter than that now. But I figured this was buried in the past, but no, it's got back and drummed up again. Because there's a lot of things that people don't know. And I have my hypothesis of what fits. Yes, Darren made a lot of friends that were Filipina. Yes, there were a lot of things that he didn't know about the culture that I did that I may have should have warned him about. What he didn't know is if you're in a private conversation with the Pinay more than twice, they see it as if you're in a relationship. Okay, Darren didn't know this. Not all Pinays are like that, but for the most part, a lot of them are. Darren didn't know that. So I know one of them became obsessed because it was like every freaking day she was making a live stream. I didn't even know, never even met her before. Her name was Honeyco. I haven't seen her. I don't know her. But for like every day for 2 months, she was making a live stream for 2 or 3 hours, and it was about Darren. That sounds like somebody that is obsessed mentally. But this is somebody that is not taking sides, but using abstract thought of the information that I've been given. But the girl Honeyco, I guess I would really like to have a psychiatrist involved in this conversation, a real one, because I have a friend that was a roommate of mine in college that is a psychotherapist, got a master's degree in it. And best guess, I know him for 5 years. Best guess, her being that obsessed by somebody, she had to have liked him. I do know that much. But she wasn't picked. Darren can only pick one female. And he did. And nobody liked the result. So you had a few attack him. Some of them, I don't know if there was a relationship before this, months before he came to the Philippines, but I suspect there probably was. And naturally, if you're in an LDR or whatever, this woman lived in Canada, not far from him, they shared nudie photos or whatever. That's news to my ears because I've never done anything like that, even though the trolls recently, a couple months ago, made up a story about me. I was sending my junk to everybody, all these Pinays, which isn't true because I don't do things like that. But my question about sending your junk to a woman, does that actually work? Now, that's an honest question. Does it really work? I'm curious. I've never done it before, but I don't plan on doing it. But I hear so much about this over the past 10 years about guys sending junk to a girl and then they become a couple. I'm like, really? Does it actually work? I mean, I got to laugh about it. But yeah, sure. If you're in an LDR or in a relationship with a Pinay, you're going to share, nudie photos. It's their business. It's not mine. But if it doesn't work out, one party can get very angry, and it's like revenge porn. They'll share those photos with somebody, and you just created a mess that you didn't want to create, and that's what happened. I'm sure Darren's probably got nude photos of her, but he never shared them. He kept them to himself. How I know that? If Darren would have shared them with me, and I don't get sent anything. Besides a message, that's about it. Yes, but I was attacked. I tried talking to Honeyco logically, but this KC dude came in and was just being disruptive and interrupting me when I'm trying to talk. And I'm like, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the host here. But that's what he wanted. He wanted to turn it into a zoo and not talk logically. So I just left. I'm not playing childish games. I'm not a young guy anymore. I left school and the playground and the sandbox long ago, and this person KC and all the trolls are still stuck there. Well, they can go back to the playground because I'm not about that. I'm an adult. This is all childish bullshit. And here's another way of thinking about it. Say it is true what Darren did. Okay, was he inebriated? I mean, what did he have too many drinks? I mean, that possibly could happen. But here's the kicker: what Darren did is his business, not mine. I can care less when it comes down to it. Ain't gonna affect me. It ain't gonna affect my wages of what I make in my business. Not gonna affect me one bit. And with thinking selfishly, like I should, it ain't gonna affect me. It's none of my business what he does. But I got attacked for it, and I come on YT. I made friends when the pandemic started because that's when I started coming on YT. Because to tell you the truth, the only social life that I have is on YT. I don't have. I got real friends, but I'm work so much. I hardly get to see anybody, including my kids. I missed out on my children growing up. I was there as a father, yes, and I'm just acting out the way I was raised. If you don't work for a living and take care of your children, you're not a man in my book, and I won't have any respect for you. I don't care how nice you are, whatever. If you're a man, a so-called man, and you don't work, I'm not going to respect you at all. You'll be lucky I even acknowledge your existence. That's because that's the way I was raised. A man works for a living and takes care of his family, even if it means sacrificing. I had a very strict upbringing. My father was a truck driver, yes. He also was a sergeant major in the Marine Corps. That ought to tell you what kind of childhood I had. I didn't always agree with what my father said, but the one thing I do hold true is if you don't work for a living and take care of your family, you're not a man in my book. Sorry. Well, I take that back. I'm not sorry. Person who doesn't work, they're sorry. But I've been to the Philippines twice. Ati Grace, I hope you're still here because I want you to hear this. I've been to the Philippines twice. Once in 2013 for a week and a half, and the second time was in 2015 with a good friend of mine named Barry. He ended up marrying a Filipina, and he retired from trucking, and he moved back to England. He had dual citizenship. He lived here in the States for 20 years. He lives south of Manchester. And a lot of the trolls made jokes about it, but you're going to get the truth from me, and I don't brag either. And I told them, do you believe I would humiliate myself by admitting this? I got nothing to prove to anybody. Yeah, it's true. I had briefly had 2 girlfriends over there. I already knew the one, but she ran away from me, and then the other one got a little handsy and found something out, and she ran away too. But here's what it is to be true. I respect everybody. I don't force Panays to do anything they don't want to do. I talk with them decently. And you're talking to a Westerner in total, spent 5 weeks, 2 trips to the Philippines, and I have never had sex with a Panay. I could have. Went to the bars and hoarded up. Oh, yeah. That's the easy part. But I'm not interested in that. And I'm not interested in VD either. I'm not interested in that. I was looking for something serious. I was looking for, a real relationship. That's what I was looking for. Getting a bar girl, that's easy. There's nothing challenging about that at all. And plus, that's just not me. Because when you buy a prostitute, there's a disconnect. It's just sex. It's like, I don't fool around with somebody without any feelings. If I like this person, they like me. I don't do things like that. Maybe back when I was in my early 20s, yes, but me being an older man, no, I don't. And for those trolls, they called me a pervert. They called me all kinds of things. But I'll tell you this: they wouldn't have done it in person. When it comes to stepping out of the truck, that's what I call stepping out of the truck. They wouldn't even approach me, let alone want to talk any shit to me at all. Because I was born and raised in the rough streets of Chicago. And two of the trolls know what I'm talking about. When it's done in person, there is no talking. You get knocked out. Unless you want to do a serious powwow, then they'll hold back a bit. But most of the time, you see the person in the face, they approach you, boom, out like a light. But I had to do this live stream to cover it up because, if you have any questions towards me, I'll answer it honestly. I have not got to hide my identity. I don't have to hide my name. Everybody sees what I do day in and day out. Proof's in the pudding. But all I said about J. Mike was this: he didn't have to bring it onto YT. Not that. He could have dealt with it there at the house and then left it at that. But no, he brought it onto YT and made a mess. And to me, thinking critically, that's what I learned. It seems like he traded a good friend for watch hours, thumbs up, and subscriptions and subs. And to me, I make money, good enough money, what I'm doing, what you're looking through the camera right here. I don't have to make money on YT. That's peanuts. I come on here because the pandemic started, YouTube exploded. I made a couple of friends right away, and it just branched off to other people. And I made some good friends along the way. And it seems like you make some enemies too. Find out who the trolls are. But the trolls don't bother me because I took them all on all at one time and I kicked their ass with logic. Because they think that they're smart and they can pull the yarn over people's eyes. Well, that doesn't work for me. Especially people I don't know. And when it comes down to it, look, Darren's off the market. He's engaged. I can't remember the girl's name, but he's engaged. Okay. He's getting married. He's off the market. He's not playing the dating game anymore. So all the trolls can move on to all the other Panays and have their fun. And to call me a pervert, I'm like, what are you talking about? I talked to a bunch of Panays. And no, I'm not in a relationship with any of them. And no, I don't spend the time and send nude photos or expect nude photos from them. No, I got a lot more respect for Filipinas than that. And if they hate me, I avoid them. I don't bother. Oh, you were there, Auntie Grace? Okay. I got a message from Sheer. And High 2 is one of the trolls. I'll tell you that much. I don't know who he is. He probably knows so much about me. I don't know a thing about him, but he can be funny too. But see, Sheer, I got to hand it to her. She's met more YouTube hosts than anybody that I know of on YouTube. She's met a lot of YouTube hosts. And, if Cher witnessed what happened, I think she probably would, steer clear of Darren. But she was there. She didn't witness nothing. But I'm just doing this video so I don't have to really discuss it on any more live streams. If people want to know, they could just come here and listen to this video. I'm almost at 30 minutes right now. But this is ridiculous and childish. And if there's any mudslinging involved here, I don't know if it's true or not. But I used to hang out in Songs for Anna's channel. Great lady. Don't know a whole lot about her, just by people that she knows and what I learned. And I guess, because every time I went in there, Captain Billy Jack was in there, and I was told that they had a relationship. But what I learned from other Panays was that she was married, or she is married, and her husband works out of town and comes home like on weekends or something. I don't know. But I guess to each his own. I wouldn't waste my time, but hey, if somebody wants to waste their time to have a relationship with a married woman, yeah, go ahead. I don't care. It's not me. I wouldn't do it. But I'll tell y'all, thank you for coming. I know there were 5 of you in here, and Auntie Grace, I appreciate it. But it comes down to this. I do not believe somebody at face just because they say it. It depends on that individual, how close of a friend they are. Even then, I still question it. How long have I known them and how trustworthy they are? But somebody I don't know from Adam telling me a story to believe it at face value, at faith. No, I leave faith to whatever God you believe in and Jesus. There's no faith involved anywhere else with me. I'm like, I'm sorry, but I need to see the evidence. I need to see proof of what you're trying to tell me to collaborate your story. And if you don't have any, I'm sorry. I can't believe what you say. It's just the way it is. And everybody else should be the same way. Unless you've known this individual for 30 years, you know him most of your life, there's a difference there. It's like, okay, has this person really lied to me about some shit like that? No. Well, if I've known them for 30 years and they're like family, yeah, I'm going to believe what they say. That's different. But there's not very many people like that are around you. How you doing, Jerry boy? Jerry boy, get ready for Friday, man. It's going to be a ball. Auntie Grace, I hope you enjoy. Come there and compete in the costume contest. And to me, it's all about having fun, making friends, advertising people's channel. There are some people that take YT real seriously and they want to be a millionaire. Well, good luck with that. Do your best. That's all I can say. Yeah, I'm monetized, but just about every video I do is copyrighted. This one I just come out with, it'll probably have a copyright strike on it too. Yeah, Jerry Boy's one of my judges. I had to have a Scot in there. Matter of fact, he's the only Scot that I know on YT. But it's going to be fun. But I had to clear the air about this, and me and Cher were attacked brutally for 4 to 5 months. Okay, it's been 10 months since this incident happened and got talked about in a few live streams. But me and Cher got the blunt end of this big time. And the reason why we did is because we didn't believe what they had to say without proof. So they threw insult on me and Cher. That's like in the movie Exorcism. You're dealing with the devil. When you ask for proof, they'll throw up split pea soup on you. That's the same reaction. Because if they had the proof, they'd be like, here, boom. And then it'll be like, oh, okay. Gives you a little bit of credibility here. But, you don't have any, I don't know. You don't have any credibility. But I don't know. I don't know if it happened or it didn't. But all I'm saying is the story didn't jive. And when I was being attacked and Cher was being attacked about, oh, he wouldn't have done that to you, Cher. You're an older Panay. Well, the one that he supposedly, got handsy with is an elderly Panay, older than Cher. So that kind of blows a hole through that story. And what I do is I put people myself in their shoes, like I put myself in Darren's shoes. Okay. And he was supposed to be meeting with his future fiance. Why would he even bother with any of the women there like that? And if he did want to bother with any woman there, to be honest with you, in my opinion, I would have been talking to Celestial or Blessed Life. They were probably the youngest women Panays there. Maeve and Rhea, but Rhea is an older Panay too. I think she might be either the same age or maybe a little bit older than Cher. But come on, let's get with the program here. This was an elderly Panay that he supposedly manhandled like that and did some raunchy stuff. But he wouldn't do it to the younger ones? That story just don't jive. And yet that's what Billy Jack said. Well, he wouldn't have done that to you, Cher, because you're an older Panay. She's younger than the woman that was violated. It's just that the story didn't jive. And J. Mike was there. He didn't say anything about it. That's all I'm pointing out. So if J. Mike didn't correct Billy Jack, then he must be right, what he said. But still, the story just doesn't jive. Yeah, I miss Murad. I had a chance to meet him once, but I didn't have the time to go to Henderson. I was in Adrian Gibson's live stream going through Vegas, but I couldn't stop, which he lived in Henderson, which was next to Vegas. I had to hurry up and make it to LA. And I kind of wish I would have did, because that was 2 weeks before he passed on. I could have met Murad in person. But me and Cher had moved on from this. But it being brought back up again, it's like rehashing bullshit again that nobody wants to hear, especially me and Cher. Because me and Cher were the ones that took the blood end of this. And that's why Darren stayed away from YT. He didn't want to deal with this bullshit. He's starting to do live streams again. And his channel is just as big or even bigger than it was before. So the proof's in the pudding a little bit, wouldn't you say? Doesn't matter how you feel. It's just what is. And, I look at it. He gets 100 likes every live stream. Lots of views. Still has a lot of friends. All I know is if I was close to somebody like that, and only 3 people knew of an incident like that happened at my house, that would not have been on social media. I would have not have brought that onto social media. Yes, I look forward to seeing you at Grace. See what your costume you're going to wear. That's why I'm so told all the Panasians, they do your best. It's just no computer generated costuming. We had it the first year. That's because we didn't know about Murad's rules. But we finally dug in and we learned that he didn't allow any computer generated costuming. You have to actually wear it. But that's all I got, guys. I didn't want to make this long, but I wanted to make short and to the point. And all I'm thinking is using critical thinking instead of jumping to a conclusion like most people do. I look at it critically and what I'm being told and then cut through the bullshit and then look at certain stories that doesn't jive. And that one didn't. I'm expected to believe that Darren wouldn't have done it to these younger Panays or Cher because she's an older Panay. But the woman that was violated was an elderly Panay? That doesn't make sense. I, for one, that know. Yeah, there are a lot of beautiful Panays in that country. Why would you waste your time with an elderly one when you can easily find a younger one? Oh, and to say someone like me is there just looking to go from girl to girl to girl to girl. Look, if I was like that, I wouldn't be wasting my time on YT, and I would have never known you people, and I would have messed with all the bar girls I want. If it's sex that I'm looking for, why would I travel on the other side of the planet, 14,000 miles away in a small island country, when I can very easily, I was just down there 3 days ago, I can go down to McAllen or Laredo, Texas, and go over across the border and have anything I want by very beautiful Latina women. They look just like Panays, but they just speak Spanish. They don't speak Tagalog. I could very easily done that 3 days ago, but I don't do that. I could very easily get a load to Nevada and play at the Bunny Ranch, the Mustang Ranch, Bella's Hacienda, and Donna's. But no, I don't do that. That's not what I'm into. Sure, I like sex just like everybody else, but it's I'm looking for the relationship, not the disconnect, because that's what it is. The woman is in it to get money and get out of there. Most dudes get a prostitute or something like that for sex, and that's it. But a lot of guys in their mindset think that that girl actually wants them. No, you're disgusting to them, regardless of who you are. They're just wanting to get the money and get out of there. And hang on a second. We all make mistakes. Sign a date. I'm sorry. I didn't see that. 23rd, right? 23rd. Sometimes you get the days mixed up. How many calories? What's that? How many pounds? 27. I looked at the weight. How many pounds are on it? Because while you're gone, I can pull up and set my goal. Good night. I'll wait for you. That's what you call doing business, ladies and gentlemen. Handing me the paperwork. I got to pull out the door. He forgot my seal, but I got all the paperwork signed. And what am I hauling? Rotini. Sounds like Italian food. Yep, macaroni. This is Marzetti's. But I've had a lot of trolls make jokes about me. That's fine, But saying I don't know a thing about business. Oh well, if I was the retard that they paint me out to be, I wouldn't be in business for 14 years now, would I? So, proof's on the pudding. Must be doing something right. But anybody can talk out the rear end and not know what the hell they're talking about. Now, some of those trolls claim that they own their own business. Well, they have no proof of showing of that. I do. Everybody sees everything I do every day. They see my truck, and that guy didn't hook my hose up. Didn't hook up my airline. No wonder why I couldn't move. You don't have air pressure, the truck won't move. Now I'm moving. Dipshit. I'm going to end this live stream. You guys have a good day, good night, and hopefully to see you on another one. Y'all have a good one. Bye-bye.